If you're looking at the holiday season and thinking, how the hell am I going to get through this without gaining a ton of weight? Well, welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. In today's episode, I am going to discuss 5 healthy habits that if you keep during the next 6 to 8 weeks, you will be just fine. So if you're ready, listen up and lean in as I elevate your mind. Welcome, everybody. Solo today. My girl is being induced today. For those, you won't hear this for a couple more days. So hopefully by that time we have a child. Yes, I say we. I've been here through this whole thing. So, so Coach Amanda is going to be induced today, and today is the 18th. You guys will hear this on the 23rd. So send all of the positive thoughts. I'm sure if y'all follow her at fitbyamanda.az on Instagram, you will see all the baby vibes. And I will also share, because hopefully we'll be seeing her soon. If she does not have this baby by the time this airs, she is not going to be happy. So let's all pray that this airs after this child is born. So, I am by myself today, but I still want to give you all the updates that you would like to hear. So first things first, my dad had his last radiation treatment. So he had 10 treatments in a row, and he was able to ring the bell because he went through his last treatment. Now we won't know anything until like 3 months from now, which is absolutely ridiculous. However, I guess that's how this all works. And so prayers for him. You know, it's been rough, guys. Like, I'm not going to lie, with my dog Brooklyn and my dad, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And I don't think I realized how much it was until talking about Brooklyn and potentially, you know, the end of her life with my husband and just trying to find control in some way, right? And thinking about what it would feel like if the control over when she gets taken away from me. So I'm in this like really kind of space. For those of you who've been there, you understand, I'm sure it's the hardest decision to make. But with that, and then my dad, it's just, it almost, I don't know, it weirdly kind of makes sense now. You know, like I would not want my dad, you know, you just think about quality of life. So that's the downer. Upper, walls are up for the podcast studio. I just ordered a ton of new equipment, and I'm so excited. We should be putting up the soundproof walls and then painting flooring and move in. So that's very exciting. We are going to have a completely new space that is just our own. We went and toured several different podcast studios here in the Valley. And because we have 3 episodes a week, that shit was going to cost us a lot of money. And we have not monetized this podcast. So we're just kind of, we're doing it on our own. And we are going to pay for a team to come up and set up everything so that you get clear quality pictures. I've actually been using my iPhone 16 connected to my computer for the video podcast on YouTube and soon to be on Spotify. So it seems to work really well. I also have a very fancy camera that we'll be using. So look forward to some pretty high-tech shit happening in December 2024 and beyond. Other than that, shows... Oh, okay. So I started watching The Summit, and The Summit is a show where these group of people, now they make it seem like these people don't know that they're about to like go on this journey where they have to hike and do all these crazy stunts. So they just think they're on a reality show, and they basically can win $1 million between whoever makes it to the summit. And each checkpoint, they have to vote someone off. Really great show. It makes you think of like, oh, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I could, you know, walk across a wooden bridge holding onto someone else's arms and using both of our bodies as balance. I mean, obviously these people are hooked in. They're not doing this like free ball. They're hooked in. There's a whole safety team. But you know, thinking about, could I what is it called, where you like cascade down the side of a mountain just with like the rope? Well, could I do that? You know, could I what was the other one? Oh, they did like a zip line across like this open area and they just had to hold on. Again, they're still harnessed in, but it makes me think about it. And then it makes me think about my foot and the fact that my foot is still not healed after a year. So I'm getting an MRI and my insurance would not cover it because for those who don't know, so last July or end of June, maybe it was like the end of June, Mark and I were in Palm Springs and we went to Joshua Tree and hiked and had the most amazing day. The last stop, we stopped at Skull Rock. It literally looks like a skull. So I climb. This is a lesson for everyone when you just think you're such a badass, because this was totally what was going on in my head. I climbed up because these girls couldn't get up to the eye because they didn't have the upper body strength. So, your girl who's like twice their age was like, let me show them. So I get up there, I take really great photos. I will post a photo here. And I come down off of the eye because the eye is pretty high. And I go to this like very small jump, but I misread that jump. And I landed on my heel and felt like a firecracker. Like, I'm not even joking. A firecracker went off under my left foot, and then a teeny firecracker under my right foot, and then a teeny one under my left foot. I could not bear weight. I could not walk. I was in a walking boot, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, they told me that if after 3 months it was still hurting, that I should go get it checked out because they can't see if it's like a hairline fracture on an x-ray, apparently. I did not know that. You can only see that on an MRI. So I don't know why I didn't follow up. I think it's because we had just moved back here because we were traveling for 16 months and it just kind of got away from me. And then it started hurting again and hurting more. And I can walk on it, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, how how will this affect me long term, right? If I continue to have this pain in my heel, like how am I compromising my gait, the balance of weight throughout my foot? But lesson learned, don't try to be Billy Badass when you are 40 years old. So I should be getting MRI, but that's all I was thinking about when I was watching this show. I'm like, my foot would totally hurt. Nothing else. Like, I think I'd be scared to do some of the heights things, but I also know it's like I'm harnessed in. So if I die, I guess that's a payout for my family, right? So there you go. Win-win. Anyway, so today's episode, I wanted to talk about like 5 habits y'all can keep over this holiday season. You're going to get this beautiful podcast on the 23rd, right before we go into Thanksgiving. Then next podcast, I'm going to talk about specifically some tips around food that you can take throughout the holidays. These are tips that I've made up and or have learned along the way in my own journey of working with other like-minded individuals. And so you'll definitely want to listen to both of these as they're going to be helpful in whether it's maintaining your weight, whether it's for some people, they want to continue weight loss, or whether it's just getting through the holidays and this year prioritizing yourself, then this is the episode for you. So healthy habits obviously are important. And the thing about healthy habits is I feel like people think that habits, especially around your health, are like time limited. Oh, I'll just get to the vacation, or oh, I'll just, get to the bachelorette party or my wedding. And then those habits go to the wayside. So they don't actually become habits. They're just the steps people take to get to an end. Whereas I want to see habits, and I have it here as consistent behaviors and routine that support mental, physical, and emotional well-being, right? And so the thing about habits is that in order for them not to be this, steps to get to an end, we need to figure out how to create habits that are sustainable, that we literally can do, say, for the rest of our lives, right? And a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is that. But the habits, again, they should be sustainable. They should, enhance your health. They should keep you free from things like restriction or overtraining or overdoing it in general. But that's why during the holidays, people tend to let go of habits. And it's usually because the routine of health habits, or whatever they want to call it, is too extreme to be flexible, right? And so when we don't have that flexibility and we have, even worse, all or nothing perfect fail thinking, we're going to look at the holiday season, and because we've had too rigid and unrealistic health habits, why would we wouldn't be able to do them, right? We would not be able to be consistent with them. And that's why people tend to give up on themselves. I am not having this conversation with the client or person who has the sustainable habits. I mean, still listen, please, because we need the views. We need the ratings. But I'm talking to that person who has the unsustainable habits and then uses the holidays as an excuse to just not do, with the mindset, I'll just start over again in January, which we've mentioned on here already. That mindset will keep you stuck forever. You putting this thing off, which is your health, to January, to spring, when the kids are out of school, when the kids are in school, when after the holidays, that will keep you stuck forever. How do we know that? Look at how many people are going to start New Year's resolutions again, who you talked to this past New Year's that had also started the same resolution and probably have done that for 10, 15, 20, their whole life years, right? And so with healthy habits, some of the ways I want to break them down are looking at it from a few points of view. So we have your self-care, we have your movement, we have your nutrition, and then we have just like standards of practice, if you will. Okay. So some of the ways that we want to look at this is, okay, I need to find my minimums and my maxes, right? We talk a lot on here about finding your floor, finding your minimums. Your minimums are what you know you can do no matter what. So we're going to talk about this specifically in percentages. So I want you to be thinking through this podcast, your holiday season, maybe reflect on last holiday season, use it as an example. What did 25% days look like? Meaning you have had 75% of your time, attention, energy taken from 17,000 other things. You have 25% left to give. Maybe even a little less than that, right? What do you know at a minimum you can do on that 25% day? Now, for the all or nothing thinker, you're going to be like, well, doing a 10-minute walk every, 4 hours isn't enough. Well, it's better than sitting on your ass. So we need to be all or something through this. So that's your 25%, right? Then we're going to think about 50%. So I don't have a ton of energy, but I'm definitely better than I was on my 25 below day, right? That's going to look maybe like instead of the walk after a meal, right? Maybe you do a bodyweight workout, right? Or maybe you go for a longer walk, or maybe you prep one meal that day or cook one meal that day. So that's 50%. 75%, lots of more energy, but still not all the way there. Still stressed out. My attention's still being pulled in another direction. So maybe I do a shorter time crunch workout, or I do a walk that's 2 miles, but that's it because that's all I have for the day. Then we have 100%. That's your ceiling or your maximum. That's what you, on the greatest day where you have all the energy and our time and attention is being taken and spread into these other areas, we can, do a 30-minute meditation. We can do a 3-mile walk, right? So that's how we're going to break it down in this episode, is looking at the habits based on what amount of energy you have to give. So first thing I want to look at is self-care. So self-care and stress management are going to be important habits, but I'm going to split those. I'm going to put those in two, excuse me. So one of the major things that you guys will need, and a habit that I want you to create, is time management and boundaries. The way I like to teach time management in our program is through the Eisenhower matrix. The Eisenhower matrix was designed by President Eisenhower. I believe it was Dwight D. Not Teddy. Yeah, it was Dwight D. Eisenhower. And it goes like this. We want to prioritize everything that is urgent and important. Those are the things we have to get done now. So think about that. On any given day, that's going to be different. let's say 2 days before Thanksgiving, it's urgent and important to get that turkey defrosted, right? It's probably urgent and important to get to the grocery store, you know, prioritizing those things first. The next one is things that are not urgent, but they are important. We want to schedule those. So that might be your workout, right? So looking at your day, okay, I have to get this turkey out. I have to go to the grocery store. So after that, I'm going to look at my energy level. Okay, I'm at 50%. So I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, whatever you decide today. The next one is not important, but urgent. That is something we need to delegate. Clothes need to be picked up from the dry cleaners. Is it urgent? Sure, because they're going to maybe be closed down for a couple days. Is it important? No, you could live without those clothes for the next 5 days, right? Or even the grocery store. That's another thing you could delegate if you picking out your own produce and your own poultry is not important to you, right? So that is something that you can delegate. And then very, very important, you guys, not important and not urgent. We need to eliminate those things. So that's a very easy way to create a time management boundary. However, we also need to create boundaries around what we say yes and no to, right? I want you guys to set an intention for yourself on how many parties at minimum, what social events at a minimum will you be okay with going to? And everything else gets to be kind of a play it by ear scenario. Because oftentimes we overcommit ourselves during this time of year, which makes us tired, which makes us cranky, which makes us want to reach for food, which makes us want to not work out. And so think about, okay, if I go to my mom and dad's holiday party, I will be happy with going to that party. And if I can tell my friends this year, I know that I am kind of a game time decision type of gal. And if that affects your, you know, reservation or your planning of the party, then I apologize. I can sit it out if that is an issue for you. I think that for a lot of women, we would benefit from having those conversations with each other. Like, hey, girl, I would love to go to your party, but I'm really trying not to overcommit this year. Are you okay if I'm a game time decision? And if so, what can I bring? Boom. If she's not okay, that's okay too. Listen, I am the queen of throwing parties. And if you tell me you're coming, your ass better come. And then if you don't come, I get mad at you. So I get it. So yeah, because I also make like custom little things for everyone. And yeah, I am a party queen. I was just talking to Laura, Coach Laura today. We were talking about how I said I'm a recovering party girl. Now I'm a full functioning, high functioning party thrower. So anywho, so managing your social time and setting boundaries around that. We also want to set boundaries around comments. What is it about I mean, I know what it is. You're with the people who caused the trauma most of the time, who are still living in their own trauma and still acting from the narrative that they have about themselves. And then they project that on you. And this time of year can bring up a lot of that inner critic shit. If you guys haven't listened to our inner critic or any of our episodes on mindset, please do, because this is a great time to freshen up on that shit. Even if you've already heard it, you probably want to hear it again. Okay. So we want to learn how to set boundaries with people. We want to set boundaries around conversations with weight, body image, food selection, and, whatever else, healthy habits. If you don't want to drink as much this year because you're trying to get control over your drinking and your family's all drinkers, it's okay for you to drink water, boo. It's okay for you to have soda water. And if they ask, you just say, I'm just trying to cut back on drinking. Or you don't even have to say that. Just say, oh, I'm just trying not to feel sluggish in the morning. I've got a big day. Whatever. I mean, you can literally lie. I don't want you to lie. I want you to speak your truth, but I'm not an idiot. I know how families work. And sometimes it's just easier to set the boundary and just be a little bit fibby with the boundary. I'm cool with that as your therapist friend. We want to make sure that we also kind of have some really great comebacks I'm doing this reel this week. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Actually, here, I'll do it right here. For those of you listening instead of watching, I'm just looking at my computer. So the reel is how to set boundaries. So when they say, I've lost 30 pounds on Ozempic, you should try it. It's the best way to lose weight. You say, thanks for the suggestion, but I found an approach that works well for me and I'm happy with it. When they say, is that all you're eating? That doesn't seem like enough. You say, this is a portion that works for me, but thanks for your concern. You probably don't need to be that bitchy at the end. When they say, I'm cutting out all carbs, sugars, fats, gluten, you should try it too. You say, I'm focusing on sustainable long-term habits instead of trends. It's what is working for me. And then when they say, come on, just have another serving, it's the holidays, you say, thanks, but I'm full and satisfied. Everything was delicious. I interrupt this episode to bring you the Mindset of Matter Black Friday specials that you will absolutely want to take advantage of. For the first time ever in my program, I'm offering $500 off of the one-to-one Mindset Method program. This is the program that Amanda and I talk about. Whenever we're talking about clients we've done one-to-one coaching with. This includes a weekly call with your coach, access to the Mindset Method curriculum, access to customizable exercise and nutrition coaching based on everything we talk about, and so much more. And for the first time ever, we are offering $500 off with a paid in full purchase. Number 2, we now have a new group coaching program, the Mindset Method Movement. And for the first time, we are offering 1 month free with a 3-month commitment. So for 3 months, you get 4 months instead, or 3 months free with a 12-month commitment. So for the price of 12 months, you get 15 months instead. This includes access to the Mindset Method curriculum and access to 2 group coaching calls with me every single week so that you can process what you're learning. You also get access to the Mindset Method Movement community forum, and we will have the ability to add on customized nutrition and exercise coaching at a discounted rate. So check out the show notes below for the links to any of those programs. And just as a reminder, giving the gift of health and wellness is one of the greatest gifts you can give to someone. So if you think someone could benefit from these amazing programs, please take advantage of this throughout the month of November. Now, back to the show. So definitely having those boundaries around the food, because y'all know my story. Cindy, my mom, loves to make way too much, and she loves for you to eat way too much. And so I have gotten very strong in my ability to say, no, I'm full. Thank you. Are you sure? Yep. I would tell you otherwise. I literally have to say that all the time. So we have time management boundaries, we have social boundaries, we have food and body comment boundaries. Let's talk about how to also take care of yourself from within. So we talked with Dr. Jordan Trapp and Dr. Lana about some techniques you can do. But again, the whole concept is, okay, I need to be thinking about this from my 25, 50, 75, and 100% days. So honestly, on your 25% days, that's the knob, the stress management knob. You'll want to turn that up. Now, it can feel very hard when you only have 25% to give to yourself. However, if you choose that as the thing to give, I think that that's the best choice in that moment. Whether it is journaling, going on a nature walk, if it's sitting in a hot tub, if it's doing some sort of yoga practice, very gentle, because again, you're stressed. If it's the breathing techniques, for those clients listening, we have all of the resources in our on-demand resources tab. And that's the 25% day. We want to turn that knob up pretty loud, right? Because you need a hug. Do you need to talk to a friend? Do you need to journal? Whatever, right? On your 50% day, again, still always important. And then the stress management can go down as obviously the stress goes down. And then we turn other knobs up during that time. So I'll talk about that here in a sec. Working from a place of compassion, though, always checking in with yourself. I would set an alarm on your phone, be like, hey, how am I right now? Because we can get so caught up in going from place to place or task to task that we don't even realize, like, we've been holding our shoulders up to our ears this whole time and we have a bunch of tension in our neck, or we haven't eaten the whole time, or we're now snappy at our partner because we have not had a moment to just chill. So set that reminder and check in with yourself. What healthy self care and stress management habits do not look like is knowing you need to take a break and not giving yourself a break, not holding up your end of the boundaries that you're setting, continuing to speak negatively to yourself, right? And then doing everything for everyone else. Remember the four rules of caretaking. We don't do for others that they can do for themselves. And a lot of times we need to let go of control, because once we let go of control, yeah, we might get a B minus on whatever task we give to our 16-year-old son, but we get an A plus in the fact that we just created some time for ourselves. So that is self-care and stress management. For y'all listening, think about your 25% day. That's where your stress management should be loudest or highest. 50% day, we can turn it down a bit. 75, turn it down a bit. 100, we're never turning it off. Remember the boombox theory I talk about, guys. With all of these habits, we turn them up, we turn them down. We never turn them on blast. We never turn them completely off. That would be all or nothing thinking, whereas all or something thinking is just adjusting the knobs. Okay, nutrition balance. So during this time, obviously, there's a lot of really indulgent foods that have marshmallows and butter and bacon and cream of whatever soup, all of the things, right? Obviously, all the pies and the desserts. And so it can feel almost impossible to eat healthy during this time. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. Weird, I know. So, one of the main things you can do is eat your breakfast. Start your day with a high protein breakfast. What does that look like? Right. Remember, 25% day, 50% day. So I'm going to give you an example for all 4 days. You're welcome. On your 100% day, if you can meal prep some egg white bites with some peppers and some ham in them, throw them in the freezer, or you can also meal prep some breakfast sandwiches. You can do a layer, you can put this on, you can bake this. You put a cookie sheet, you put eggs on the cookie sheet, liquid eggs, you do egg whites, you put cheese on the cookie sheet, and then you put some turkey sausage or like ham or something on the cookie sheet. Put that in the oven, bake it for like 15, 20 minutes. Check Pinterest for the times. Then you just add your English muffin to it, wrap them up and freeze them. So this is on your 100% day. Okay. Then on your 25% day, you just pop that baby in the microwave. 50% day, you pop that baby in a microwave. Add in a Fairlife shake with that bad boy. We're good to go. Right. But on your 100% day, you could have a beautiful meal. One of the meals I just recently had that was so delicious. Actually, I'll tell you what I had this morning. I do chicken breast that I've already prepped with an egg and English muffin, slice of thin cheddar cheese, and then on the side, a cup of yogurt. So this is a really easy one too, with some blueberries and then my coffee. Very easy, very high protein, super filling. You could do something similar to that on your 75% day. So you see what I just did there. On my 100% day, I prepared myself for my 25 and 50% day. That is super important. And that is a lot of these things that I'm talking about are very, very easy to make, especially if we're using the oven, we're using a crock pot, we're using the Instapot, those types of things. So eating breakfast is super important, and we can see how it looks differently, where I might make my meal day of 75 and 100% day. I may prep my meal on those days for when I don't have enough energy. You can also go to a drive-through. McDonald's has the McMuffin. That's 300 calories. Chick-fil-A has the egg white delight. Oh, so good. It's very high protein. I don't remember the calorie intake from that. Even if you went through a Birdo's, if y'all don't know what a Birdo's is, then I'm sad for you. But a Birdo's is a Mexican food drive-through. You can get an egg and sausage, cheese burrito. Yeah, it's going to be higher calories, but maybe we only eat half of it and then save the other half for lunch, right? So there's that. The other thing we want to do is set some, again, non negotiables for each of our days. So maybe on your 25% day, you're just trying to get that breakfast in. That's your non negotiable for that day. The rest of the day, you're like, I'm going to eat, but it may not be as high protein as my breakfast. On your 50% day, maybe we're doing 2 meals that are higher protein. 75% day, 3 meals that are high protein, and so on, right? Now, it doesn't always have to be high protein. We have clients who are on Mediterranean diets that are higher in proteins and fats. Protein's not as high as your traditional macro coaching program. But for you, each day, I want you to think about, what will nutrition look like? Another example, 25% day, I just get a vegetable at each meal or a fruit. Easy peasy. I can do that, right? 50% day, I get a vegetable and a protein. 75% day, vegetable, protein, healthy fat. 100% day, vegetable, protein, healthy fat, fiber. Okay. See how we did that. So I want y'all to write that down. What does that look like for you? On top of this, we want to focus on skills that we can use. I'm going to talk all about those in the next episode. So please stay tuned for that. I'm going to give you very simple skills that will help support everything we're talking about in regards to nutrition today. The other thing is we don't want to restrict. So that's why I said, even on your 25% day, you may not hit that high protein meal, but you need to feed yourself, babe. You have to realize that all the things we're talking about require energy that we get from food. And if you don't want to feel like shit, you need to eat. I know that's a concept women do not understand, but it's literal like biology 101. You need the energy. So if before, say this week, maybe we can even create, this wasn't even my notes, but I've talked about this before, little snack packs, like emergency snack packs where you can have a Ziploc bag that has some beef jerky in it, some almonds, maybe a string cheese, maybe a fruit roll up. And those, you just pack them. And when you're going Christmas shopping or you have to go to the grocery store, you just bring one of those packs in your car. Now, we're not eating the whole pack. I know it's in the car and I need to eat it because I have to have a snack while I'm in the car. No, we can put it in the trunk or the back of the car. And then when we stop, we can grab one of the snacks, eat it before whatever we need to do to ensure that we fed ourselves. Okay. The last habit that I want y'all to focus on here is really focusing on the mentality around eating, right? One of the major things, especially when we're super stressed, is that we are looking to soothe. And this is where the fuck it mentality, the binging, it's the season, I'll start over in January, as we talked about. This is when it very much wants to come in and say hello. And so really just, again, with that check-in that I talked about on the self-care, if we can also just check in with where our thoughts are going. Now, again, on your worst day, this needs to probably be focused on even more. If we're starting to think about fuck it, or I'll just eat all the candy, I'll feel better, or, this is a big one on your 25% day. Because remember, say that your only goal was to eat a high protein breakfast, but then your little inner critic voice says, well, see, you didn't have high protein for the other 2 meals, so you might as well, blah, blah, blah. That's when you have to recognize it and say, no, I met my goal today. I had 25% to give and I gave myself 25%. And I'm not going to go back to the all or nothing mentality. So really focusing in on that. So that is nutrition. Again, I hope you guys are writing this down or thinking about what this looks like for you. Let's talk about exercise. So exercise and movement, I think that's important to note. We are not exercising every day, especially on your 25 and 50% days. They're going to look a lot different than your 75 and 100% days. So on our 25, I ain't got shit to give days, maybe we're just walking after each meal. There is a lot of research that shows that walking post-meal helps with blood sugar regulation, managing insulin resistance, also obviously just flexing your muscles while you're walking will help to use that glucose that has been stored from that food that you just ate. It is a wonderful thing. And there's new research that shows it can be more beneficial than going on a long 45-minute walk compared to if you walk 10 to 15 minutes after each meal. Very interesting. I will link that article here. So if we only have 25% to give, that's all we give. And you don't have to go on this like magical walk. You can literally walk around in your house if you want to. Sometimes what I do, guys, because I'm a true believer in this, I will get up and do the dishes from that meal. So for us, I eat and then I'll walk around and I will make my bed and like do other things to kind of keep myself active. And then after lunch, I'll clean the dishes from the morning and from lunch, because lunch doesn't usually have too much. I'll make a sandwich or something, right? And then same thing for dinner, eat dinner, grab the things, start. So I'm moving, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a walk, but I'm moving for a good amount of time. Maybe I'll go and use the bathroom furthest away from me right after lunch. So that's 25%. On your 50% day, we're still not there, but we can do like a nice body weight workout, just getting in some, prisoner squats, into some push-ups, into some lunges, and maybe into like a Y raise and so on. You could also replace your 10 to 15 minutes after each meal with a mile walk, right? Not too far, maybe just, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, depending on how quickly you walk. And you're going to still move your body. You're still contracting those muscles. You're still doing something for yourself. 75% days, we might add in some resistance here. That could be dumbbells, full body, but still we may not have a lot of time. So maybe it's a 30-minute workout. And then your 100% days, what I love is some high intensity interval training during this time of year, just because it is more bang for our buck in a short amount of time. When I do HIIT training, it's 20 minutes of HIIT. It's not, hours and hours long. And the nice thing about that is you really can put to work all of the extra calories. If you are eating extra calories or just extra carbohydrates, you can put those to work and do it again in a way that is time. Again, we've talked about time management, is maintaining time and getting a lot done in a short amount of time. The other thing, though, too, is you could add a longer walk that day. Now, here's the thing. For some of you, your 100% day is the 3-mile walk and the HIIT workout. For others, it's just the HIIT workout. For others, it's just the 3-mile walk. You do whatever you like. It may not be any of those things. This is why you should be writing this down, okay? All right, so we've talked about self-care, stress management. We've talked about nutrition. We've talked about exercise. Now we're going to talk about your just good old, oldies but goodies, taking care of yourself type of habits. So one of the things, again, on our boombox is your kind of day-to-day habits, right? Now, exercise and eating are obviously day-to-day, but we put those in their own category. These are things like hydration, sleep, sleep, morning sunshine, right? Limiting caffeine, managing booze. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever's going to make you feel better during the season, I want you to think about 1 to 2 of your day-to-day habits that you want to focus on. So for your 25% day, let's just talk about hydration. We might drink 5 glasses of water, and that is what we've got to give. Great. On our 50% day, 8 glasses. On our 75% day, 80 ounces, right? On our 100% day, 100 ounces, 120 ounces, right? So you can see how that looks different. Again, with sleep, 25% day may be a day I take a nap, right? During the day, because I did not get sleep the night before. That is actually today. I woke up at 2 a.m. and did not go back to sleep. So yay me. 50% day would be I get 6.5 hours of sleep. 75% day, 7.5. 100% day, I'm 8 to 9 hours. I'm feeling great. But we want to take that into consideration. The other thing is, like I said, managing alcohol. So this is the time of year where we can booze it up. Believe me, you guys know me. I love a good party. However, we have to think about our future selves. Okay. So I want you to set a habit for maximum alcohol. Now, this should be relatively the same across the board. I guess if you're 100% day, maybe you could have one or two more drinks because you're not an emotional mess, right? We don't want to be an emotional mess and having more drinks. We want to actually not have any because we want our bodies to calm down. We want to calm down our nervous system naturally. So I would turn it down 25 and 50%. You could turn it up within reason on the other days, but we want to set a drink max and keep that drink max and do things like the soda water trick where you have your drink, your cocktail, and you keep a little bit of that cocktail left at the bottom and fill it up with soda water. That way it feels like you're having another drink because you can still smell the vodka or the tequila in it. You could also just have a soda water or a water in between drinks, or again, you just set your limit, you sip. We're always chasing the buzz, but for some people, they're like chasing the buzz, drink, 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 rather than waiting for the buzz and seeing how many drinks, what minimal amount of drinks they can have to catch a buzz. See this all the time. And then they're just the people who are trying to drink, 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 drink and find the buzz, then they're just shit faced. And then they don't know how they end up at Taco Bell, in the line for a Taco Bell at night. I love Taco Bell, but yes. Ladies, I know the holiday season can be so overwhelming, from the gift giving to the baked goods to the parties to the family. It's chaos. And I'm guessing you usually put yourself on the back burner thinking in your head, I'll just start over again in January. But how many times have you done this to yourself? Maybe this year we try something different. November 24th starts the Mindset of Matter Winter Wellness Challenge. This challenge helps you manage the season by matching your movement and habits based on your stress levels, introducing small, simple habits and movement goals that will help you prioritize yourself through the holidays. This is how it works. You ask yourself, how crazy is today going to be? Super crazy, high stress, we do some gentle movement and easy habits. If it's an easy day, low stress, we go for it. Plus, we add easy habits like drinking water, getting enough sleep, stress management, and nutritional habits that build on each other week over week. These small steps aren't just for the holidays. What you're doing is creating a foundation of prioritizing yourself no matter what is going on in your life. Taking this foundation into 2025, making it your best year ever. So if you are ready to not walk into January 1st completely burnt out, comment challenge below for more information. So thinking about those like day to days. So for me, I'm still going to keep my no drinking during the weekdays, except with the exception of Thanksgiving, right? Because I know there'll be like mimosas and then maybe drinks. I'm actually not sure what that's going to look like, but that would be a day in the week that I drink when I don't normally do that. But every other week up to Christmas is going to be similar. Now, I'm going to Disneyland on Christmas. So I don't remember if they have alcohol at Disneyland, but I don't even know what that's going to look like. But I'm going to keep that structure, right? I'm going to make sure that I'm hydrated during the day. I'm going to always, always try to keep my sleep routine. Your girl's in bed by 8 o'clock every day. Well, except for weekends. I would say weekends too now. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out early. And maintaining that. And so again, thinking about your day-to-day habits, your hydration, your sleep, managing alcohol. I talked about some other things that you might want to throw in there, early morning sun exposure. Maybe you're a cold plunge girly. Maybe you're a sauna girly. Maybe you just need to disconnect, right? Maybe you need to put your phone down. That's a good one, actually. Maybe, on your 25% days, let's put the phone away, because what you're going to do is mindlessly scroll to try to dissociate. So write those down. That is going to be super helpful for you. Last thing is really focusing on your mindset, right? I've already touched on this a bit, but we want to make sure that we are focusing on the cultural and societal festivities and traditions that are important to you and your family. Now, when I say family, that can get touchy, because you may not have the energy to go to all of the events that your extended family goes to. You may say, I actually just want to have a nice holiday with me and the kids and your husband or a partner. Remember, holidays are a time for connection, right, with your family members. They're a time for everyone to kind of slow down. It's not we don't slow down because we're just trying to go from thing to thing, but if you really think about it, your kids are off school, nothing's fucking open, and you could be together. It's just figuring out what that looks like for yourself. Find flexibility and room for improvement here. Not every day is going to be perfect. You're going to have a 25% day that you have too much alcohol on. You're going to have a 25% day that you skipped breakfast. Let's look and learn. Let's figure out, okay, what happened there? Oh, on my 100% day, I didn't meal prep those egg bites. That would be helpful. Or, oh, I didn't use the fast food guide and go through a drive-through, which I could have done, which all of our clients have access to that in your on-demand resources. Okay. Like, also, I want you to think about like how progress has changed year over year. If you're working our program or you're listening to this podcast, we hope that what you've learned from us has given you a different perspective this holiday season. And so being able to say like, wow, I'm even catching myself doing the things that I never caught myself before I just did them. That's progress. Okay. And as always, I want you to ensure that we're looking at growth, right? Not that fixed mindset. Oh, I can't possibly do this over the holidays. Oh, that's too much, or it doesn't fit. There's not enough time. If you set the boundaries, you'll figure out the time. And if you create the plan, the 25%, 50, 75, and 100, you will be able to do something and your body will love you for it. What we're not going to do, we're not going to go on this restrictive diet because we need to lose the holiday weight. We are not going to return or continue with the internal dialogue that says all of the nasty negative things. You don't need that shit. There's already enough taking your energy. Catch it, reframe it, right? Catch that inner critic. And we are not going to aim for perfection. We are going to aim for progress because again, if you are following this podcast and you are someone in our program, you're going to have a different experience this holiday season just by putting what you're learning here to work. And so that is it. I hope that's helpful for everyone. And we are actually running our 6-week winter wellness challenge. It starts tomorrow, the 24th. The actual work starts on the 25th. I'll tell you why, because I thought the 24th was a Monday. It's a Sunday. So what this looks like is 6 weeks, we will be having this exact thing set up for you in the Mindset of Matter app. So you will have access to your 25% movement day, your 50%, your 75%, and your 100%. We have all of the workouts designed for you, reps, sets, rests, instructional videos, instructions written out, and you can choose based on the stress level where you will be or what movement will look like each day. Your 25% day is just a walk after each meal. So very, very easy, all the way up to hit high intensity interval training. Now, if you're not a high intensity girl, you can still do the dumbbell workouts too. So there's gentle movement, there's body weight workouts, dumbbell workouts, and high intensity dumbbell workouts. All you can do from home. If you want to go to the gym, you can do it in the gym too. Great. On top of that, every week's going to have a different health habit. So we'll have a nutrition habit, a self-care habit, which will include all of my self-care resources on how to bring that nervous system down, and then the day-to-day health habits, mainly focusing on water and sleep. So if y'all are interested, the link is below. It's a 6-week winter wellness challenge. It's $39 for the 6 weeks. And really what's important here is you are going to learn how to be flexible and create realistic goals around your health. And you will have an advantage over everybody come this January. And after this 6 weeks, honestly, the way that I designed it, not to toot my own horn, I think that you will be able to realize like, wow, consistency really is what makes a difference. And consistency can still have flexibility in it. So I would love to see all of you on the wellness challenge, or please share that with others that may benefit from it. I hope that I priced it competitively. We don't like to compete with other programs because we're really not like other programs. On top of that, we have our Black Friday specials. We are offering $500 off our one-to-one mindset method coaching. For the Mindset Method Movement, which is our group membership coaching program, you will get 3 months free with 1 year. Sign up for 1 year, or 1 month free when you sign up for 3 months. Also, we have slashed the price of the self-guided, the Mindset Method self-guided program, which is you learning all of this at your own pace. It is 50% off when you use the code Black Friday, all caps, in the link that I'll also put down below. If you like this information, please share it. Please share these reels. Please share our YouTube page. Please comment. Please do all the things. We want to continue to share this podcast, and you guys are the ones who can do that for us. We can just make the content, but our audience is who will get us out there. So please give us a 5-star rating or review on iTunes or Spotify, and then like and follow on all of the platforms. Other than that, I want to just remind you, as you put on that beautiful, ugly Christmas sweater, I want to remind you this: what you say in your mind, you see in the mirror. Bye-bye.